you tell us your name? You are live. Hi, it's Tom again and the ETs. We are back for another episode of Strange Journeys. I hope you will join with us. Come over and see us. If somebody's available, can y'all go start a watch party on the Strange Journeys group? Can do that for us. And I mean, it's already posted there, so hopefully somebody will be able to watch from there. You can watch from our Strange Journeys page, from our Strange Friends group. All right, so today we have with us Tim Shepard, Christine Rogers, Andrea Bateas, and all the way around the corner is Lynn, my lovely wife. She's having some technical issues. And Beth has said she's trying to get in. Stand by. So we should have about 5 or 6 of us today on this really kind of weird and creepy show today. So let's catch up. What's going on with everybody? Let's start with Andrea this time.
So the Grave Hunter Society has made some leaps and bounds. We're official members of the Association of Professional Genealogists. Wow.
Yeah, that.
I'm a professional. So anyways, but what that's allowing me to do is to continue my education according to the standards of the genealogical standards. And then John, so this is more up his alley. He just recently became a member of the American Society of Digital Forensics and E-Discovery.
Wow.
So he's really excited. That's definitely up his alley, while mine is more genealogy. But one of the things that the Grave Hunter Society is now starting to offer is 3D imagery of your loved one's markers. So if it's local, or if we're out and we're able to do it, we can take a picture, a photograph, and turn it into 3D imagery of it. And then our long goal is to be able to possibly make 3D printing, photogrammetry of it.
Oh, nice.
And be able to offer that to people.
So you can offer like small little headstones for their ancestors.
Yeah, that's what, we want to be able to find a niche in this. And, there's just so many different ways to go. And that's one of the things we're looking at now. But that's about it for us.
Excellent. All right. That sounds cool. All right, Christine, what's going on in your world?
Oh, just trying to clean up and get everything ready for back to school, and my daughter's starting college, my son possibly starting college, and all different kinds of stuff. Hard to believe that I've got a senior now.
Yeah,
I remember when they used to be so little.
Yeah, that happens when you feed them.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe
I should think about that.
Yeah, exactly. I'd look at my kids and they're growing up like, doggone, I got to stop feeding these guys.
Right? And they eat constantly.
I know.
Even after you go to bed, they get up in the middle of the night and go eat.
Well, Lynn, like I said, is having difficulties with video, but do you want to tell everybody how you're feeling, sweetheart?
Montezuma has taken his revenge.
Okay. All right. We hated to do it, but she had to go get the test for the virus the other day, and we're waiting for results now. So keep your fingers crossed, and let's hope and pray that it's not there. But the doctor did say that if it was, told her that if it was COVID, then she was on the back end of it. That it's
I'd already lived through all the worst.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, and the bad thing is, there's Beth. Device is not connected, Beth. There we go. And Beth finally made it.
Yay!
Oh, you missed it. You missed it, Beth. Tim was waiting for you. Tim, show her what you got. Because
See, my hair is done. No towel.
Beth had sent us a message saying she was rushing, getting ready, and had to take a shower. So I said, please don't come to the show with a towel on your head. So when we signed on today, guess what Tim had on his head? And I said, save that for Beth.
Don't tempt me. Next time I will.
Looking good, Beth.
Okay. So what I was saying with Lynn, if her test comes back positive, then I got to go get tested. So because I can't go back to work until we have negative tests. So I mean, it's nice having the time off, but you know how it is. And I mean, I've always said I love my job. I've always said this about this current job. I love my job, but I hate working. I'll be so glad when I can retire. But, I know this little free ride is going to end soon, and I have to get back to work. So, Tim, what's up in your world?
We are currently doing private tours. If anybody wants to contact us,
nice
tours, and if you've got at least 4 people, we'll get out there for you. I am also scheduled to be at. Let me pull it up now. It's called Adventures in Learning on August 7th in Topeka, Kansas. I know they've got about 80 people registered to show up.
Wow.
We'll see how that goes. I'm actually going to be talking about oddities of Kansas history, strange things. The Wizard of Oz. How does it really play into Kansas, as well as Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and Kiss? So,
nice.
So we've got some odd things going on there, odd laws that are still in place that most people don't understand. Where did that law come from? Why did we put it in place?
Right.
In Topeka, you're not legally allowed to have a snowball fight in the city of Topeka.
Oh.
So,
all right.
It's illegal in Mobile to put an ice cream cone in your pocket.
Yep, that's the one.
I thought that was only on Sunday.
Well, and
I don't know. I just think it's stupid to even put an ice cream cone in your pocket anyway.
It's
Clearly
also,
somebody's done it.
Yep, it's also illegal in Mobile to shoot silly string. In the birthplace of Mardi Gras, of all places, you can't shoot silly string. Well, they used to throw flour off the floats, so
I'm so glad they don't do that.
Yeah. So, all right, Beth, you're buffering out, but it's your turn. What's going on with you, girl?
Just staying busy, teaching, working on the ambulance. We've been pretty busy lately. So, and I have a thunderstorm coming through, so that's probably why I'm buffering.
Ooh, yeah, it rained here a little while ago.
Yeah, we're expecting it soon.
All right. Well, remember, folks, we have technically we do have a website, but it's my fault. It's not ready yet. But there is an actual official website for this live stream, but it's not up and running yet because I have not spent time on it. I've been trying to other things, but we do have our Facebook page. Hey, we got Kent. Whoops, I was showing Kent. Was with us 2 weeks ago. Good morning, all. I miss you guys. Need to do more shows with you. Yes, you do. We'll plan that, brother. We will plan that. But I wanted to remind you, we do have our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Strange Journeys. And then our group, which, if you remember, we've told you this time and time again, Strange Journeys. We lost Lynn. Strange Journeys grew out of a former company that Tim and Andrea and Kent, who was our guest last time, worked together in, and we continued Strange Journeys for a while, and then we Strange Friends became the just like a fun house for all the people who had been on the tour, and it's grown beyond that. So come see us at Strange Friends, for Strange Friends. But we also have our, where's it at? Our merch sites, teespring.com stores, Strange Journey stuff. I added, I think it was a pillow the other day with I Believe in Ghosts or something. I don't know. We will be adding more show-oriented stuff with our logo, our website, and all that kind of stuff real soon. But then we also have the general merch site, strangestuff.live. And you can go there and get all kinds of weird, strange stuff, guys. You can also get your ghost hunting equipment. You can get books on UFOs, cryptids, Bigfoot. You can get T-shirts that say all the weird, wonky things that you like it to say about the paranormal or ghost or whatever. All of that is on there. I mean, I was going through it the other day, and we've got tons of stuff on there, people. And remember, that one is an eBay reseller. You find something on there you like, you're taken to your eBay account, and you purchase it there. You don't give us any of your personal information, and you do all your purchasing through eBay. All right, I just want to make sure we're going over everything here. I meant to tell you all this last week, and I haven't heard from Donnie. Donnie was having a rough time the last time we spoke to him, but he and I have actually been started working on a song about the Black-Eyed Kids. And I built some lyrics, a verse or two, and he's going to be working on it. So hopefully by the time we get to our Black-Eyed Kids show, we will have a Black-Eyed Kids song written by us. So wouldn't that be cool? All right. I wanted to tell y'all, have y'all heard of the Randonaut app? That's what it looks like. Randonaut is an app. Some people think it's a ghost hunting app, but it's not really. Tommy mentioned it to the other ETs last week, but I had seen it the week before and had meant to mention it in the last show, but forgot. But here's what I want to do. It's a free app, and what it does, it sends you to anomalies within a certain distance of where you are at. And if you've watched any of the videos on YouTube, they're kind of freaky. There was one made the news about some kids using the Randonaut app found body parts in a suitcase. That's kind of creepy. I was watching another one, and this guy and his girlfriend was driving to the location of where it was the Randonaut app had sent them, and they couldn't get to the location because there were ambulances. There was at least 2 ambulances and a couple of fire trucks and a couple of cop cars at the very location that it had sent them to. That's kind of weird. So what I want to do for anybody that's watching, and the ETs, all these guys, where they at over here? All right. Just a little challenge. If we can download the app and go to at least one location and video it, and if it's something weird, strange, get it to us. We would love to share that with everybody. You know, while you're going there, whatever, shoot a video of what you find and let us know about it. And if you can send it to us, then we will try to get it on the show. And if we get enough of them from the ETs and you guys, then we'll do a complete show about it. How does that sound?
Sweet.
Sounds good to me.
Little do we know, it actually brings all of us ETers together in the middle of the continent. Like, we finally all get to meet. So
Yeah.
That would be fun. A lot of fun.
At that big Bigfoot conference next year you were talking about.
yeah, in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I think we all should go. Maybe do an ET live there while we're there. You know,
That would be cool. That would be cool.
So
All right. Well, again, thank y'all for being here. I think it's about that time, isn't it, folks?
Yeah.
Let's get started. Okay, and we are back. Where is that? Okay, I'm going to take that one off.
Somebody's missing.
Yeah, Lynn. Okay, there's Lynn. Okay.
Tim's
She
missing.
finally- Oh, Tim is literally missing.
He was abducted.
Yeah, I guess.
Put a tinfoil
I
hat
guess so.
on. Instead of a towel.
Oh, that's what it was. He went to put up his towel. All
Go
right.
get his tin
Well,
hat.
I don't know. According to the Hitchhiker's Guide, you need to keep a towel with you.
Mm-hmm.
So
You do.
you never know. You
And
know,
have your ring ready.
yeah. That's playing that intro reminded me. I'm going to kind of let the cat out of the bag. It's not set up completely yet. There's Tim. He's back.
Sort
But well, I thought he was. But we will, as soon as I can get it cleared and everything, our broadcasts are going to be going out over YouTube as well as Facebook soon. And in setting up our YouTube account, I found out that a couple of the songs I've been using for my little promos were copyrighted. Little did I know. And YouTube wouldn't let me post those little segments. So I had to go. I've redone one that I could redo. Facebook wanted to get onto me for the Ghostbuster stuff, but Andrea and I kind of went through all the copyright stuff before that show to make sure it was okay. Since we were using it in kind of a teaching format, we were good. But a couple of the didn't pass YouTube's copyright search or whatever, so I've had to mute those. One of them was for something we only used once, so it's no big deal. I muted that. And the other was for the franklovesbooks.com site, so I had to go back and actually change the music on that. But it hadn't said anything about our intro and closing or the other ads, so I think we're good. But the music I had used on that one that I had to change actually came off of my video editor. It's supposed to be. I'd assumed that everything on there was, what do they call it?
Open source
Well,
or free.
For fair use.
no copyright, public domain.
Ah.
That's what I was looking for. Public domain. And anyway, so now that we're going to be broadcasting on YouTube, we got to make sure all of that's kind of taken care of. Even though we're not making any money off of this, they still want it to be clear and up front. All right, we always start with the latest sightings.
Subscriptions too, as people are starting to log in.
Yeah.
YouTube will actually pay you to do that. So.
Right, and we got to get there. We will build to that. I tried to set this up where we could do this one on YouTube streaming, but they haven't given us clearance yet. So hopefully soon, and maybe by the next show, we'll be live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. That's my goal. So I've got a latest sighting, and this was posted by Northern Michigan Bigfoot just a few days ago. Now, from what I understand, this is when I watched the whole video, it was a recent video. It was like it was within the last week, but they posted it on the 17th, which was about, a week ago? 5, 6, 7, yeah, about 8 days ago. But anyway, this was posted on the 17th by Northern Michigan Bigfoot. Let me see what you think about this. Did you see it?
Mhm. Fast little bugger.
Yep. Beth, you're shaking your head no. You didn't
No,
see
I
it?
think I buffered about that time.
Huh?
I think I
Through what?
buffered about that time.
Oh, okay. I'm going to play that again. All right, it's coming up here. Look in the middle of your screen, a dark object at the lower part of the screen. Here we go. All right, right there in the middle of the screen, lower part. Now it's lower right. There it goes to the left. Thoughts, comments, opinions?
I mean, I can see how one would go. It's in the woods, so it's obviously a Bigfoot. But it's very nondescript. It definitely is something. It's not a deer, and bears don't walk like that. But this was just on the 17th, 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that was in Michigan.
Yes.
In northern Ohio, we've had a few sightings of shadow people walking in tree lines and in trees. And there's been some videos out there, but I've never been able to get anybody to contact me in regards of an interview or anything like that.
Right.
I just think it's I'm very intrigued. That's different. That's something that I would, if I was in the middle of the woods walking, I would turn around and go back to my car. Wouldn't stick around. Not camping here tonight.
Well, I grew up not in the woods, but on a farm in South Mississippi, and we were out in the woods daily. And if we saw something, I mean, our first thought was never Bigfoot, but if we thought a deer or whatever, we were actually going in that direction to find it.
But, yeah, if you thought it was a deer,
Yeah, that would have been fun to see. I think I would have gone after it. That's just me. So, all right. Well, before we get into the topic of today's show, our first sponsor, and Tim just mentioned it. I keep forgetting. Ravenwind Tours. All right. And Tim mentioned earlier that they are doing private tours. So make sure to call them and get that set up if you're in the Kansas area there, Lawrence and Topeka. And you won't regret it. Some of the stuff he's told us is pretty cool.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom. No, where did you get the name Ravenwind?
Actually, it's something that my wife came up with because we have run for about 15 years. We ran a haunted house out of our side yard, completely built out of pallets. And so she just came up with Ravenwind, and we've stuck with it for our various businesses. So.
Cool.
Nice. That's awesome to know. All right. We titled today's show Beware the Stick Man. And if you've seen the little promo, this is some spooky stuff. What they've been described as, well, let me just go to this. Cryptids.fandom.com has an article called Cryptid Wiki. Cryptid Wiki, Black Stick Man. There's no date given on the article, but they said black stick men are a relatively recent phenomenon. Now, Andrew, you're getting me tongue-tied. People across the globe have been citing these two-dimensional-like pitch black beings. They appear to be two-dimensional, and their appearance always looks the same no matter what angle they're seen at. Their heights range from that of a normal human being to an abnormal several feet tall. They reportedly make no sound and cast no shadow. Witnesses also claim that these figures are often charged with some sort of electricity, the most often reported being static electricity. We're getting some feedback somewhere, guys. And witnesses often claim that while encountering these beings, they feel a strange urge of aggression and agitation. And it could be said that these beings exert some sort of negative energy. We've heard that they feel evil, like when we were talking about the Black Hat Man, just the side of them feels evil. But they're unlike ghosts in that they're not linked to any particular paranormal incident or location. You know, we've seen, say, like, you know, there's a Bigfoot sighting. There's sometimes a UFO sighting, you know, close by, or ghost appearances, you know, things like that. They usually work in tandem. But supposedly the stick man is just to itself. It doesn't seem to be a part of any other paranormal phenomena. But so far, there's yet to be recorded a case of a stick man or a black stick man to attack a person. They have yet to communicate in any way, not even making a sound. But they're also not to be confused with Slender Man. Slender Man, of course, being that internet-created horror character. He's got like a white head and a white shirt and black suit. This is supposedly just a black stick figure. But Christine, you want to read that other description? Do you have that? You're muted.
Let me pull it up.
There
Hold
we
on
go.
just a second.
I was trying to give something, pass this around. So some things I have assigned to folks. Sometimes some things I don't.
Yeah, the Confessional podcast.
Yes.
Okay. May 30th, 2019. And I quote, "The reports are rare. People around the world have been glimpsing black, two-dimensional stick men that resemble cartoon stick figures. These bizarre sightings sound almost absurd. How could a stick figure drawing come to life, but are growing in prevalence? 3 distinct variations of the stick man."
Well, yeah, there's 3 different kinds that I've found. Okay, we're going to be really focusing on the first one, but there's the black stick man. You know, looks like the child's drawing, or the remember the TV show The Saint. Well, y'all are too young, but they had a black stick man with a round circle for a head and then a halo above it. But that's what people describe it as, and some people say it's white, and some people say it's black. But that's the most prevalent. We're all going to, after we talk about those a little bit, we're going to touch on the two-dimensional creatures. Now, these are not stick men. These actually have a defined shape, but they're described as being paper thin, or like cardboard, or like a cutout. And then Andrea is going to tell us something about some stick Indians that are malevolent and dangerous entities from Native American lore. Before we get into that, we're going to go to our next sponsor, and then Tim's going to tell us about. Tim is the one that started all this with the stick man, y'all, for us. So we're going to hear from our next sponsor, and then Tim's going to tell us about his experiences and what he's come up with. Several months ago, and make sure you go visit Christine on her Facebook page. I keep forgetting. Oh, she's way over there. Go, author Christine Rogers. Make sure you go check her out and buy her stuff at Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and Books A Million. Right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Several months ago, when I started putting all this together and wanting to do this, one of the first suggestions that was put forth was the stick man from Tim, saying that he had had a couple of sightings in Topeka, and then said there were some others around the world. And so we've been digging into that the past couple of weeks. So Tim, what did you find? What got this all started?
Let me give you some background about the city of Topeka itself, because
Okay.
I know it's going to tie in with Andrea's research as well. The city of Topeka is actually founded in 1822 on the north side of the Kansas River. And it's actually called Topeka because it's a Ka Indian word, or Kanza Indian word, that means a good place to grow and dig potatoes. Now, where they came up with that, I don't know, but obviously they were planting or growing potatoes here in this area. And then in 1854, you get the first white settlers that arrived in Topeka along the Santa Fe Trail. And they begin building on both sides of the river. We've actually got what we call two downtowns now. You have old downtown in North Topeka. You have the new downtown in South Topeka, both of which really date to about the same 1854 time period. It depended on which side of the law you were on, or which side of the ruling you were on when it came to slavery. If you lived in North Topeka, you were pro-slavery. If you lived in South Topeka, you were anti-slavery. So you've got a lot that is going on in the history of the city itself. Like most cities, as the urban sprawl begins to happen, the downtown areas begin to die out. In fact, I shared a picture with you, and I'll have you put it up here in just a little bit, of the current downtown situation. But when I started doing tours in Topeka about 8 years ago, the downtown area was not a place either in the north side or on the south side that you wanted to be in. They were rough neighborhoods. There were entire areas of the streets that weren't lit. There were places where there were no street lights. There's no businesses on the south side of Topeka that are open or weren't at the time that were open in the south portion of the downtown area. It was not the best place to be to start with.
Yeah.
But about the same time period that I started doing tours, there was actually a man, his name was Roger Williams, who was coming home from work. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. He was headed down Southwest Jackson, which is where the Capitol building sits.
Can we put the picture up?
Yeah, you can go ahead and put the picture up there. The picture that you're seeing here is actually this Kansas State Capitol. It's taken with a drone from the very top of the dome there. The street that you can see running from right to left is actually South Jackson. You can just make out there's a parking garage. There's a nice big 7-story building there. and then just beyond that is a parking garage. And he was writing about where that parking garage is when he said that he saw a shadowy figure that was moving towards him that stood taller than the upper layer, the first layer of where the windows are in the parking garage. You're talking about 12 to 14 feet at that point. He said that it had a real loping motion, that it moved real animalistic, but he said it was paper thin. He could actually see around it. And he thought it was real odd. He's looking around. That area until about 3 years ago on that particular street was not lit at all. It's a real recent thing. They actually put street lights back down in through there. So where he was getting the shadow from, I have no idea. It scares him enough that he actually begins running for home, which is several blocks away. He actually called the Topeka Police Department when he got home. He was so scared about whatever this was. And so I hear about this very first report, and I started looking into it. And as I'm researching the who the stick men are, I'm thinking this has got to be the strangest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But it's probably in the last 20 years, they're seeing these all over the world. The earliest recordings of them are from Edinburgh, Scotland, in an area that they claim they call it the Dark City. Portions of the city that have been abandoned. Nobody's out there, which is what Topeka was, both on the north side and the south side. So over the next 8 years, you've actually got 18 reported sightings of this thing.
Wow.
In downtown or in North Topeka on the opposite side of the river. Those reportings have slowed down, especially when it comes to the downtown areas in North Topeka, or what we call Noto District, completely. In fact, the most recent sighting, which was in 2019 in November, actually happens on Southwest Tyler Street, which is about 8 blocks further to the east, but it's an area that is now considered pretty much abandoned. There are lots of abandoned houses, lots of things that are run down in the area.
Yeah.
That's what the downtown area and Noto were like just a few years ago. There was nothing there. When I started doing tours in the downtown area, there was one business open on the weekends on Friday and Saturday night, and that was a bar, and that was it. There was nothing else down there. It's all used to be all owned by the state. Now you've got several restaurants that have opened. There's a bar called the Brew Bank, which actually there's a video on YouTube. You get on there. It's called A Good Place to or it's an answer to Stephen Cohen makes a comment, or Colbert says that Topeka is a good place to break down. And Topeka had an answer for that, and they used the Brew Bank as a new commercial for people to try and get them to come live in the city of Topeka. But now we've got about 30 businesses that are open late at night. It's kind of interesting that they've changed exactly what's going on. And that's the same with the North Topeka area. There's all kinds of businesses down there now that are open. So I think it's moving out of the downtown area and out into other areas as it goes along. Now,
were they like this? Is this what
exactly what they're is a stick figure? They said that it looks like a child's drawing. So you are looking at that stick figure. That's got that perfect stick figure when you're a little kid and you really don't know how to draw.
Yeah,
make sure you draw out that figure. So,
that's. I mean, guys, this is what we're talking about here. That just. It just boggles my mind that people are seeing, and describing this, and they come from different. I read one today that was a sighting in Turkey.
Right.
This talking about the same thing. But and you said the latest one was back in November of 19.
November of 2019 is the most recent one that was reported, and it's actually just about 5 blocks. What is it? Tyler is about 5 blocks to the east of the area that we're in, but it's an abandoned neighborhood. Now it's interesting because as I was doing my research, there was what is this thing eating? And in Edinburgh, they claim that it would lure people into the shadows and that it would eat the person and just leave the skin. And it'd be this papery material that would just be blowing around. It was a really weird thing to read. But it's
Yeah.
like, okay, so how often are you seeing paper blowing around that is really something that this thing ate? You know. But then I found a writer that about 2 years after the first sightings in Edinburgh, she's writing a fictional book, and she's claiming that these stickmen are eating people too, and that's what they're leaving behind. So I'm wondering if that's where they got it from. Is it she wrote it in fiction, and they went, "Oh, that's what they eat." Now we know what the paper is blowing around.
Well, when we get into our suppositions later on, we're going to talk about some of that as where they come from, because that just, with dog men, Bigfoot, Wendigos, these kind of things, you can kind of understand they're seeing these things like in the woods and whatnot, and they would expect to see some kind of wild creature, but seeing this,
Right.
where does that come from in your psyche? I just, if that's what it is. So that leads me to believe that there may be something else going on here, because why would your brain, like I said, you can understand being out in the woods or whatnot, or looking up into the sky and seeing something, but a stick man,
Right.
I mean, here was another artist rendering, or sculptor. I don't know if that's the actual stick man or somebody was saying, "Hey, this looks like what mine was," but this was on a page dedicated to stories of a stick man. And then that, and I'm going to play the video for this one in a second.
Video is ate up. That's a creepy video.
Yeah, that one is. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna play that video here in a second. But to me, these two are more like a praying mantis than a stick man. But because to me, there's depth.
Stick bug.
Yeah, stick bug, praying mantis. Yeah, that's what they look like, giant versions of that. But Beth read us that other story, but this one's kind of creepy, y'all.
All right. So Carrie commented on an article called "The Black Stick Man Phenomenon" at Spirit Seekers blog. She says, "I have seen one. April 16th, 2014. My daughter is 3. She's special needs and doesn't talk that well. She starts screaming and crying, and Carrie goes in there. She keeps saying, 'I saw someone. I saw someone.' She does not say anything like that, usually. She barely has 10 words that she even says. And she draws on her Etch-a-Sketch, which I'm glad she still has an Etch-a-Sketch, and says, 'Here, Mommy.' Again, special needs, can't draw that well. I have the pic and can send to anyone, just leave their cell number. Otherwise, I can't upload or don't know how. She drew a pic of what she saw, period. I'm not lying. I'm not playing with anyone at all. I'm telling the truth. She drew it. Next night, I see the same stick figure-like thing trying to go right out my window. I'm so terrified. And yet, I have seen a lot in my life. I'm 26, so I have a lot of spirits, etc. I've seen a lot of spirits, etc. This stick-like figure was hanging over her bed like it was going to take her. Before I came in the room, yeah, that's scary. It is now April 24th. I haven't slept at night since then. And I go to bed at 7 a.m. in the daylight when my kids go to school because she can't sleep at night anymore. And then there's, but that's,
wow. I mean, how would you like to, walk in and see that over your kid's crib?
At that point, would it be considered cryptic? It would sounds more like Shadow Man. It doesn't really sound like, it sounds more like you had a problem going on in your household.
Yeah.
It's not anything
could be
outside.
It could be.
That would definitely make me scream.
And if I saw it, that's
oh yeah, definitely. And go grab some sage
I was
and
thinking
some
an
salt
axe.
or something.
An axe.
Thinking what?
got an axe or a hatchet and go to town. Get firewood.
Oh yeah, you're a stick. I'm grabbing an axe.
Yeah. Oh God, that just the thought of it going in toward the 3-year-old baby, and then the baby drawing it on the Etch-a-Sketch.
Right.
That was creepy in itself. Let me show you that. Well, let me show you this one first. This is probably the first. Now, I came across this one years ago, but there wasn't the phenomena of the stick man or the black stick man. But this is the video that I came across years ago, and people were freaking out about it, didn't know what to call it.
Oh God.
That's so
Wow.
creepy.
It reminds me of the bad guy in one of the Spider-Man movies.
I would have to move.
Uh-huh. And you can't really say it's a spider on the camera or anything because it's clearly on that wall, not the
On the
camera.
building. See,
Yeah.
This is where I'd say it takes it out of the 2-dimensional realm, because to me, that's fully a 3-dimensional entity.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd it go? It's right. I think it's down there in the lower part of the middle. Nope, there's coming down from the top.
Oh.
Yep, now's the time for the giant fly swatter.
Kind of makes you wonder what's going on inside of the building at that moment that would attract something like that.
Yeah.
Looks kind of like a soul eater or something.
I wonder if the people in those windows see it stretched out across.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, wonder what's going on that would draw, like, chum in the water for a shark. What would draw something attention to something like that?
Good point. Are they?
Somebody could have been trying to do a black mass or just a spell or something. And
It
said,
doesn't.
let me go check this out.
Is it seeking, negative emotions, energy, and then so on?
Mm-hmm.
Is there somebody terminally ill in there? What could be drawing the attention?
That's a thought.
What's the extenuating circumstances of the people who do witness these things? Like, are they somebody that's continuously under the influence of some sort of narcotic, or not that you have to be, but could there be other circumstances that would draw the attention into something like this? Because it definitely seems like a predatory entity.
And that's what people say. They feel that when they encounter it.
Especially in this video, as we're watching this one.
So somebody actually videoed that?
Windows, especially the windows that are dark. It's like, oh, wait, I got to see what's in there. Let me see if there's something. Maybe this one deserves to be eaten. I don't know.
Yeah. What were you asking, Christine? Or was that Beth? I don't remember.
Was that a security camera video, or was that somebody actually filming, looking out their window from a building across the way?
If I remember correctly, that video was taken in Russia by someone actually just filming what they were seeing. But that's several years old.
Stuff going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do. But see, that's the thing. That video is so freaking old, and it's been used on so many different YouTube videos that it's the original has been lost somewhere. Who knows where it actually started? So anyway, all right. That same website that Beth was talking about. Well, before we move on from that video, to me, we can call that a stick man because technically that's what it looks like, but it's not the. To me, it's not this.
Right.
No.
You know,
It kind of looks like those sticky men that you get at the dollar store that kids get that
Yeah.
they can throw on the wall and it'll like tumble down. So that looks more like a
Right.
sticky man, not a stick man, but
right. But I mean, like in this one, I mean that one's casting a shadow. You can see the shadow of the legs down there.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the torso as it goes up.
that would
So
not be a good day to see
no,
something.
oh,
So
again, I'd want to grab an axe because that just to me that one's got dimension and depth to it. You know, 2 dimensions to me means just just a paper. you know,
so when
Huh?
people those videos or pictures, you don't see that little round head up at the top.
no,
So
you don't.
I'm guessing that people are kind of the closest thing that they can to describe it is to say like a stick figure man or hang. To me, I'm going to say a hangman. Somebody
That's
wanted
a
hangman a few times.
that's a good point. Yeah.
So,
So maybe they're just
they're
describing
not-
that.
Mhm.
They're seeing
because they have
that.
no other. Yeah, because that
And
doesn't really
describing
have
that.
a head.
Right. I never saw a head in that.
Or that other one where it's up against that one. You don't. There's not really maybe a little bit of a head up at the top, but not.
Yeah.
It's mostly just. It looks like a giant.
Right.
In our
Well-
Clark County sightings, it doesn't have a head like that. It's more like the stick one that's leaning up against the wall. So
Breaking up.
Yeah, I was just fixing to say, Andrea, what was that, Clark County, Ohio?
mhm.
Yeah, he described it as just kind of like a straight, no head,
Like
just
a
straight
stick
up. Yeah.
with like humanoid arms and legs.
So they're probably seeing,
Maybe 2 different things.
yeah. So it's a possibility they're seeing this and that and describing it like that. Because to me, this and that look more like this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me.
Tim, did they actually say in Topeka if it actually had a head? I saw some of the video on one show that I watched where they were talking about it, or maybe they were talking about it on somewhere else. But did they say that it actually had a head, or that it was just we just assume that it does when they say it looked like a stick figure?
The ones that have talked about it say that it has a head, usually a rounded head. And they are using this, something similar to this drawing when they're drawing it out. So when I first heard about it, and they were talking about it, I thought, man, they're talking about a slender man. We've got a slender man in Topeka. But as I've learned more about it from the ones that are talking about it, you're talking about something that looks just like a kid's stick figure drawing with
Mhm.
that head at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I've heard. Well, check
Yeah,
this.
because they said
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, because the ones in Topeka they actually said were 2-dimensional. They kept stressing were 2-dimensional. It did not look like it was in our realm totally, or in our
Right.
universe.
Right.
Kind of like the
All right.
upside down from Stranger Things.
All right. Who's going to tell our next story? Takers, anybody?
Well, says you are.
No, it doesn't. Tommy. I put Tommy, and Tommy's not here, so I'll take it.
Oh, it just says Tom. I'll do it. I can do
No,
it.
it
The
says
2-dimensional
Tom.
creatures.
No, we're not there yet. We still got a couple more stories.
Oh,
Y'all are jumping ahead of it.
About Susan?
Yeah,
You want me to do
I
it?
don't have that in here.
that's fine. Because that's off of that same blog. Where about the little kid, the 3-year-old baby. Yeah, with Susan. Susan commented on that same article The black stick phenomenon. Go ahead.
Okay, Susan
I don't
also
have that one.
commented, it was this year, 2015, when I had the experience of
Who else was
seeing
going to read it? Because I don't have that.
a
Susan's
black.
comment.
Hold on. Beth is lagging.
I'm a slacker today. What can I say?
Oh. Okay. All right,
That's
Christine,
what
go
happens
ahead.
when you're up for 22 hours.
I'm gonna mute you. Go ahead, Christine.
Okay, you want me to start over?
Yes.
Okay. Susan also commented, it was this year, 2015, when I had the experience of seeing a black stick figure. It was Easter, April 5th, and my husband and I were driving north on the highway to our daughter's house at 9:30 in the morning. It was pouring rain, unusual for North Carolina. No, California? CA. Anyway, since we've had mainly drought conditions, all of a sudden I saw dimly through the rain-battered windshield a thin black figure about 12 feet tall, sprinting across the roadway from left to right, east to west. Several car lengths in front of us seemed to dodge the cars, yet lifting up off the road. It disappeared down an embankment, and I didn't see it after that. Very strange. My husband did not see it, since he was concentrating on driving. Now, this was in broad daylight, not in the dark shadows down a lonesome road. Therefore, it did not strike me as spooky or ominous. The impression I had was that this was a reflection or embodiment of nature and energy. As it moved so quickly, it seemed to have some purpose or destination, or just an intent of getting out of the way of traffic.
Yeah, it just wanted to get out of the line of fire.
Right?
Why did the stick man cross the road?
Well, that's a